much for being back. If you just joined us, it's still Enterprise the Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. The Senate has suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, PDP Kogi Central, for 6 months over alleged misconduct following her protest against the reassignment of her seat by Senate President Godswill Akpabio on February 20, 2025. The suspension bars her from all legislative activities, with her office sealed, security details withdrawn, and salaries for both her and her aides suspended. She also is prohibited from accessing the National Assembly or representing herself as a senator during this period. The suspension came a day after a federal high court in Abuja restrained the Senate from proceeding with its investigation against her, directing the Senate to justify its action within 72 hours. Legal experts have criticized the decision as unconstitutional, while the Labour Party has urged the Senate to reconsider. However, the Senate stated it might reduce the suspension if Akpoti-Uduaghan submits a written apology. As you have with me, Innocent Adluba, thank you so very much, Innocent, for being back.
It's my pleasure.
All right, so let's, of course, get to the main story, and it's been a very big time in our lives as Nigerians, especially with the polity in the country. So many people expected Natasha to have been suspended, but not this much, not the Herculean measure that it's been taken by the Senate unanimously. Speak to us. Do you buy what the Senate President has done with his colleagues?
Oh, well, 20th February, today is 7th March, so we take it that for the better part of 2 weeks, this news has refused to go away. It's been a hot topic. I was thinking that with that Order 40, Section 4, where she has to go and refile and not present a document where she self-signed, I thought she would just refile, and then the case will be re-looked into if all my grammar are in line. But wow, Natasha herself is quoted in the Premium Times as saying that this outcome is unjust. It violates the principle of natural justice, and it's a total violation of the Senate are claiming that the reason for this sanction is because action from Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is a total violation of the Senate standing orders.
Okay.
2023 as amended. So within this period, we will be saying that Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who is a senator representing Kogi Central, 5 local governments from that place. You have Adavi, Ajaokuta, Okehi, Okene, and Ogorimagongo. We hear her salary now will be suspended, and her aides. I'm wondering why the aides.
Exactly.
What, in the times we are in, what do the aides tell children whose school fees they will pay, or feed, or house rent? I'm wondering.
Because this is totally uncalled for. Ahmed Lawan, the former Senate president, actually during the sitting, stood up to speak on that particular matter, especially on retrieving of her security aids. He stated that let's not set a bad precedent, because if this continues, it is Natasha today, it could be someone else. That it was needless that the security be taken away from her. But Godswill Akpabio actually made excuses for that. So do we say that what is going on between Godswill Akpabio and Natasha is more of a vengeance, political vengeance, and not just pure justice?
As it stands, justice cannot be said to have run its course. Justice is where, just like the principle we hear Audi altering pattern, you hear a side, you hear the other side. As it were, the court we hear has put hold the Senate's intention or activities towards further investigating the matter. So I think justice takes place, if you ask me, where there is this fair hearing on two sides,
yes,
or through a legal process in a court with a competent jurisdiction. The outcome are hasty, spontaneous, shocking, and we are within the season of the International Women's Day.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So
actually,
the name of Mrs. Uduaghan, the senator, will be a topic in the air, and irrespective of the side you are, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has come to stand as a name that many ladies, many women will look up to as their idol, their Amazon, somebody whose voice cannot be suppressed because she is a woman. But the issue will continue to be analyzed along different sentimental lines, there are those who will argue that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan fell short at the Senate for not moving her seat at the start of all of this imbroglio. There are those who would say, okay, that is one. How about hearing her from this angle of sexual harassment? Was sending the sergeant in arms to march her out the first ideal? Has her reputation as a senator, because she's a female, been violated? So there will be a lot of punctured holes along sentimental lines, along gender lines, maybe along religious lines, and that's where we say that lots of laws emanate from conventions, religion and all, but we need to separate certain elements so law can stand on its own, or else the sentimental aspects will blur the sharp edges the law possessed.
Very, very true. Nemo Eunice in Kausa Sua. One cannot be a judge in his own case because you rightly did say it. Lots of people might look at it from different vantage point, but the truth remains: you cannot be a judge in your own case.
No.
Godswill Akpabio would have recourse himself. Okay, he would have recused himself from that particular case and allow someone else do the beating rather than him. So do you think that all of this is centered on just getting back at Natasha?
I don't think Senate President Godswill Akpabio has committed any infraction.
Really?
In the sanction process. I don't think so.
He didn't commit any infraction in the
sanction process, like
even when he
like
was the
being
one that
present. I don't think so.
In his own case, in the case he has been.
Yes, I don't think so. You see, there are places where the legal is immoral. Are you getting me?
Okay.
It is moral. Senate President Akpabio is morally wrong, morally, to be involved in a case where he is one of the party. But according to the Senate rules, he may not. So if this is telling us that, there are issues that happen.
To the Senate rules.
Yes, I'm coming. There are issues that happen. Yes, there are issues that happen that certain laws do not contemplate at the point of creation. So far, within the ambit of the House order, the Senate President, and that's where I'm surprised. Morally, now let me use the word moral. I would think since Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan refiled her case, investigations or the ethics committee should get busy. But this is the outcome. And they tell you these are the House rules. And if I don't know who I am to the Senate, I would say they should amend that rule that says someone cannot sign his or her own case when filing a petition, because in the Senate there are caucuses, there are parties, there are loyalties. You, being my friend, may see it as a risk. Signing something for me, it already approximates you as joining forces with me against the case on ground. And so in Nigeria, where a lot of people are saving their neck from political guillotine, nobody will want to throw. Look at that big Senate. People saw what happened that day. It was not from the Senate. It was reported that Natasha got the signature from, but from her constituents. You know, so maybe those are the kind of laws that should be amended. If I am aggrieved, I will write. It's like a memo or letter of complaint. Then I will sign it myself. Let that kind of law allow it. If you, like I said, who am I to suggest to the Senate? Then secondly, let there be that same rule. I've said morally, I would think Senate presidents, going by the universality of Nemo Iudes in Causa Sua, Nigeria being a part of it, both Nigerian legal system and the English common law system. It would be fine to have the Senate president separately, let me use the word, away from where that situation is being discussed. There are those with his presence would want to. He is the Senate president, for crying out loud, you know.
He wields a lot of power.
Yes, but if you ask now, they will tell you, like I am saying here, that perhaps that's what the Senate rules say. And I'm saying that issues like this are popping up aspects of that Senate rule that may warrant further amendments. If the Senate president being involved in that process is allowed within the Senate rule.
Yeah, because lots of amendments actually that should be done, and equally there are lots of knowledge that should be acquired, even by Senate President Godswill Akpabio himself. Because
knowledge in what regards?
Knowledge with regards to understanding the rules and regulations of the position he has found himself.
There are rule books there. That's why I'm saying that. Yes. Sorry, that's why I'm saying that. To the extent of their collective rule books, let me use those words, ethics, to that extent, so far, the Senate president may be acting within the ambit of that.
Now, talking about him acting within the ambit of whatever rules that he has seen there, while answering to Ahmad Lawan about removal of security aids from Natasha, he said that since she has been suspended, that she ceases to be a senator. And therefore, every accolade that should go to a serving senator should be taken away from her. And of course, people came up to react to that, saying that because you suspended a person necessarily does not make the person out of service. She is still a serving senator.
And I'm asking, is Senator Akpabio, by those comments, quoting from any book?
Never.
So those are, they don't even need to argue with this. It's a law making house. So you bring your papers citing certain segments that communicate certain principles. It shouldn't be a verbal war or argument between Innocent and Henry. If you get my point. Those are where I'm saying, to the extent of whatever law book or ethics or whatever they have, whatever happens there, look at, let me go away.
Okay.
There is the PDP. Then around 2012, 2013, lots of them left, they defected from the PDP into the APC. And the APC grew stronger. We are now in the APC government. The recent one is the former Goba aspirant, Jendo, defecting. Even in this Natasha case, it was defection that is at the offshoot of all of these boiling points by Senator Ned Nwoko.
Yes.
You know. So, what does the law, are you getting me, say about defection? And what is moral about defection? You campaigned under a party label. Let's look at Ned Nwoko in PDP Delta. People voted you in as PDP Delta. Of course, Ned Nwoko is not the first, but within this argument, I'm mentioning him. Your governor, Owerebori, possibly came on the platform of PDP, and maybe that trickled down the popularity of the PDP candidates. You've won your election. Now you no longer want to remain in PDP, you jump ship into APC. I would think, immediately you do that, you lose your seat. But there are rules they have there that is convenient for, let me use the word decampers, even though the appropriate is to defect. You know, so, and within that law, what I say will not change it. So there are things that are now allowed in law that are immoral. If you get my point now. So one of them is what we are discussing within the Catholic principle of nemo iudes in causa sua. Catholic because it is universal.
Yes, of course, it is universal. Lots of people equally have wondered why, with that number of persons seated right there, about 109, removing Natasha is 108 persons, and none of the senators was gracious enough to even say a nay when it was decided. And people would say, are we slowly but surely running a one-party state in Nigeria?
Those are another things I told you should be amended. The Nigerian Senate, this is 2025. I think we are around the 10th Senate or thereabout.
Yeah, the 10th Assembly.
It's too big to be robotic. Nigeria runs a robotic National Assembly that limits the privileges of representation to the masses. In that I vote they are talking about, you are from a particular state. Do you know what your representative voted for? So why don't we have the digital?
An electronic form.
Yes, so at this kind of stage, these are sensitive issues. We will see who voted and for what. Yes. So that I'm telling you now that there are, and in the Senate, as I speak, it is allowed. So it is me talking to you that have the wrong voice. So there are many things that are immoral and allowed in the national. It is immoral that I'm from a state, I have a rep. When things are being put to vote, neither by raise of hand nor the digital can I recognize that this craving from my constituency, this is the position of our representative. So you can see again that bandwagon has helped even people from Natasha's state party to abandon her. She is just a political orphan at this stage, on the eve again of International Women's Day.
Very, very true. It's so very unfortunate though. This is not the first time. Her history is repetitive. What happens in one country, if you take a look at it very closely, would have or must have happened in some other country. In 1954, in the United States of America, Senator Joseph McCarthy, during the Cold War era, was aggressive in accusing lots of lawmakers of communism as at the time. But of course, every other senator ganged up against Joseph McCarthy and accused him of unethical conduct and got him removed from the Senate. And one would ask, was it done as a result of political expediency, or justice was actually followed in that case? And that is what we see repeating itself with the case of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Thank you so very much, Innocent.
My pleasure.
We truly do appreciate you. And people, that's just about the time we have. Love to say thank you to you for being part of it. Please do well to equally check up on us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.